I just want to make something really clear. I am not adverse to a social media scrolling session. Just because I am passionate about digital well-being and reducing the amount we use our phones doesn't mean I think the odd scroll now and again is anything we need to stop doing. But the key is, how do we make sure we're not wasting hours and hours and hours? And how do we make sure it's not mindless scrolling? And by mindless, I mean we almost get caught in a trance where we're just looking at, say, video after video after video on TikTok, or post after post on Instagram. And we're not really conscious that we are spending all this time on there. I'm sure we've all had that situation where we've kind of started on social media and then gone, oh my God, where's the time gone? For some people, it's when they get in bed and they think, oh, I'm going to have an early night, and then they pick up their phone, and before they know it, they've done 2 hours of scrolling in bed. So how can we stop mindlessly scrolling on social media? So the first thing to do is to set screen limits for your social media use on your phone. I'm showing you here how to do it on iPhone. I'm afraid I'm an iPhone user, not an Android user, so you will have to check that on Android. But I have mine set for 20 minutes a day. And that means if I get caught in a mindless scroll, it pops up that I've hit my time limit. I can always add another minute or even add another 15 minutes. But what that does is it just stops me in that scroll, and it sort of brings me back into consciousness, I guess, so that at any one time I can maximize 20 minutes before it comes up with that warning. And then I'd have to kind of choose to spend even more time on it. And for me, that's made a real difference, because without doing that, you can just lose so much time. And usually it's not 20 minutes, because I might have jumped on and made an Instagram story earlier in the day or had a quick look at something else. So all of that adds up to your 20 minutes that you've set within your timer, or whatever time you've set for your limits. So make sure you have your screen limits set for social media on your phone. The other thing you can do is have what I call a scroll session. So I love creating reels and TikTok videos, and sometimes you need to look at other ones for inspiration. So what I do when I'm looking for my inspiration is I set a timer on my phone, and I usually give myself, say, 5 or 10 minutes to just have a good scroll and get lots of ideas. I will save any that I think are really good, or I like the audio, or I like the way they've used the audio, and I can start to kind of shape how I might use that. So I will save any that I think are good, and then once the timer goes off, my kind of research time is over. That makes a really big difference as well, because what you need is a pattern disruptor. So when we get into a bad habit, we need something to break that habit, something to disrupt. And something as simple as a timer going off can disrupt that flow we'd got into of scrolling mindlessly. So a timer is a really good idea, whether you're doing it for research or whether you just think, you know what, I just want to spend 15 minutes scrolling on TikTok. Fine, but be aware it is only going to be 15 minutes. Set that timer, set that intention, because then you know that once the timer goes off, you can get back to whatever you were doing before, or just put your phone down and focus on something or someone else. Another way to think of it is consciously scrolling. So with mindless scrolling, we are literally just looking through post after post after post, mindlessly scrolling. Do you know what? It might not even be social media. It might be like Tinder or fashion websites, anything like that. So if we're just mindlessly scrolling, we're not really consciously thinking about what we're trying to achieve. So ask yourself the question, why do I want to go on this platform right now? Why am I scrolling right now? Is this content that is going to add anything to my life? Is this 10, 20 minutes, 50 minutes, 90 minutes, 180 minutes, however long you're spending doing it? Is it a good use of your time? So kind of take it from mindless to mindful, and be really conscious in your actions on social media or on any other platform that you find yourself caught in that mindless scroll. Now this takes practice. It's a bit like meditation. If you've ever tried meditation the first time and you found your brain just is going everywhere, isn't it? And so you go, oh my God, I'm no use at meditating. My brain just can't focus and pay attention. I can't just switch off. I'm useless at it. Well, that's because it's your first time. So consciousness in scrolling also takes practice. You need to make sure you are kind of setting those triggers to go, why am I looking at this? What do I want to achieve from it? How long do I want to spend on it? And actually, is what I'm looking at, does that give anything to me? Does that add any value to my life? And if you do that, then you will find you become conscious scrolling, which is a completely different thing, because when you're conscious scrolling, I tend to find I'm more likely to put my phone down. I'm more likely to go, you know what, this isn't doing anything for me. This isn't adding anything to my life. This is not what I came on social media to achieve. Let me put my phone down and do something that's more productive or more fulfilling. And that's when you get into conscious scrolling. And then I would say my final tip is to do something that's far more fulfilling than mindlessly scrolling. So if you kind of are thinking, oh, I'm a bit bored, I'm gonna pick up my phone, I'm gonna start scrolling. Not that you'd think that, but you know what I mean. If you find yourself reaching for your phone because you're bored or you're looking for fulfillment through something, think about doing it through something else. Think about finding that fulfillment elsewhere. Think about, you know what, instead of spending half an hour on my phone scrolling, I'm going to go out for a walk for half an hour. Or I'm going to do some stretches or yoga for half an hour. Or I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes. Or, you know what, I'm going to watch something that I really enjoy and really pay attention to. Or I'm going to pick up a book. Or I'm going to do a bit of work. Or, you know, the idea is that often we go into a mindless scroll because we don't really know what else to do with our time. We're so ingrained with spending our time on our phones that we've lost what else we can do with our time. So instead, think about, well, what else could I do instead of doing this mindless scrolling right now? And if you can't think of anything else, at least you gave it a go. At least you gave it some thought. But you probably think of something that actually will fulfill you so much more than mindlessly scrolling on your phone. So this isn't to say you are never to mindlessly scroll again. As I said at the start, I still do it. Probably not so much mindless now as more conscious, and definitely I always have a timer attached to it, or I certainly have the screen limit anyway that pops up and reminds me it's time to get off your phone. But there's no harm in the odd one. It's the fact that we can waste hours of our time every day and every week getting caught in the mindless scroll. And if you would like to take more measures to reducing your phone use and really understanding actually the impact that excessive phone use or even average phone use could be having on you, then I would love for you to take a look at my short course, Reduce Your Phone Use. There's a video and an ebook that comes with it, and it's only £9. Go and have a look. It's in the description box below, and I'll see you again soon.